30 days ago, I made a decision that honestly sounded a little crazy. I stopped spending money. No online shopping, no food delivery, no random "I deserve this" purchases, no quick stops at the store just because something looked good. For an entire month, I only allowed myself to pay for absolute essentials: rent, utilities, basic groceries. That's it. At first, I thought the challenge would just help me save a little extra cash, but what actually happened over those 30 days completely changed the way I see money, spending, and even happiness itself. Because somewhere around the second week, something unexpected started happening. My bank account wasn't the only thing changing. My mindset was too. And by the end of the month, I realized something shocking that most people never notice about their money. The first thing I noticed was how often I wanted to spend money. And I mean constantly. I'd pick up my phone, open an online store, and almost buy something before remembering the challenge. Or I'd walk past a coffee shop and instinctively think, maybe I should grab one. Not because I needed it, just because it felt normal. That's when it hit me. Most of my spending wasn't logical. It was automatic. We live in a world where spending money is frictionless. One tap, one click, one swipe, and suddenly money disappears. But when you remove that ability, even temporarily, you start noticing something uncomfortable. How many spending decisions are driven purely by impulse? The first few days felt like breaking a habit I didn't even realize I had. By the end of the first week, the challenge became very real. Because suddenly every purchase required a question: do I actually need this? And surprisingly, the answer was usually no. That late night food delivery? Not necessary. That gadget I almost bought online? Definitely not necessary. That extra subscription I barely used? Completely forgettable. For the first time, I was forced to look at my spending habits without distractions. And honestly, it was a little shocking. Not because I was reckless with money, but because so much spending had quietly become routine. Little purchases that seemed harmless individually, but together, they added up to hundreds, sometimes thousands, every month. Around the second week, something strange started happening. The urge to spend began fading. I started cooking more meals at home, not because I had to, but because it was actually enjoyable. I found things to do that didn't involve spending money: going for walks, reading books I already owned, calling friends instead of meeting somewhere expensive, and slowly something became clear. So much of what we spend money on isn't about survival, it's about convenience and instant gratification. But when you remove that convenience, you realize how many good things in life were already free. And honestly, life didn't feel worse. If anything, it felt simpler. By week 3, the financial impact started showing up. I checked my bank account one morning and noticed something unusual. The balance was higher than normal, much higher. And that's when the real shock hit me. This wasn't extra income, this was simply money that didn't disappear. Because when you remove impulse spending, your money finally has time to stay where it belongs, in your account. And seeing that balance grow without doing anything special felt incredibly powerful. It made me realize something most people overlook. Financial stress isn't always caused by earning too little. Sometimes it's caused by spending without awareness. By the final week, something interesting had changed. The challenge no longer felt difficult. It felt normal. I had trained myself to pause before spending, to question purchases automatically, to ask simple but powerful questions like, do I actually need this? Will this improve my life? Or am I just bored? And that small pause made a massive difference. Because once you stop spending impulsively, you start spending intentionally, and that one habit can completely transform your financial future. So what happened when I stopped spending money for 30 days? Yes, I saved money. But that wasn't the biggest result. The biggest result was awareness. I realized how easily money disappears when you're not paying attention. But more importantly, I realized how much control I actually have over my finances. Because wealth isn't just about how much money you make, it's about how much you allow yourself to keep. And sometimes, all it takes to see that clearly is 30 days without spending a single unnecessary dollar. If this video opened your eyes even a little, imagine what would happen if you started applying these ideas to your life every single week. On this channel, I break down the habits, money psychology, and simple strategies that help ordinary people build real financial freedom. So if you want to control your money instead of wondering where it went every month, make sure you subscribe to Natalie Invests, because the next video might just be the one that completely changes the way you think about money.